Well, my name is the Amazing Amos, and for my first trick, I'm gonna hit my hand with a hammer. Okay, here it goes.
Puppets are really interesting. They definitely have their own personalities already, so I really like the ability to fit myself to the energy they already possess. Some of these guys, it wouldn't surprise me if they move about in the night when no one's here.
Puppets are almost like a kind of magic. You're taking something that's inanimate and bringing life to it. And then if you can fool somebody else and make them believe that it's alive, I just think that's amazing.
Yeah, oh, that's so good.
ZOOT Theater Company formed back in 2006 with a mission to revive the perhaps forgotten art of masks and puppetry. Each puppet is uniquely handcrafted in downtown Dayton at ZOOT Studios. And 7 years and hundreds of puppets later, co-founder and artistic director Tristan Kopp is still enamored with building puppets.
When I started in the fine arts at Sinclair, I started to really enjoy sculpting, painting, drawing. And while I was in the middle of that, I needed a job, and they were hiring in the theater there as a carpenter. And one of the first shows that I worked on was Into the Woods. And the director at that time asked me if I would design and build some puppets for the show. I just dove right into it, and when I got to see all that happening on stage and coming to life, I said, I love this art form. Before that, I was a diesel mechanic for 14 years. So, I mean, I like the gears, I like the movement of something, and I can't stop making them.
They're made of a lot of wood, PVC pipe, there's some paper mache, paint, cloth, cardboard. Basically anything we can get our hands on that is appropriate for that character is what's thrown onto the puppet. And it's amazing what they can do with materials I've seen all my life and would never have thought that it could be something artistic.
Some of them could take like maybe 3 or 4 days to build, or it can take like 2 weeks, depending on if it works like you want it to.
Come here, boy.
With Sleepy Hollow, they ride horses. So I got to make this function properly to where they can straddle the horse and ride.
Tristan's style is kind of creepy. He likes to describe it as steampunk, so there are a lot of gears and buttons and knobs and levers, and it's almost like the puppet is a machine instead of an inanimate object, and so it requires somebody to walk up and start operating it, and that kind of translates through the visual style to the audience that it is a machine. Tristan likes to describe them as kinetic sculptures. It's not a stationary piece of art. It's something that can be brought to life and moves, and when it does, that's when the art is created.
I've learned quite a bit about the art form itself. It's really inspired me to do more and to keep doing it. It is a great way to communicate, and it is a universal language through movement. That's how they told stories back in the day, tribes, ceremonial storytelling through puppets and masks. So I think learning more and more about that has inspired me to keep going and creating new things.
To tell the story with a puppet, you really have to get into their character. I get to use more cartoony and creative voices with them, and rarely would I ever get to be a rabbit or a dragon myself, but through a puppet I'm able to become that kind of character, which is really cool.
Seeing a mechanism that doesn't move on its own and becoming animated by people to look and feel real with true emotions that are coming out of that object, it's really fascinating, I think, and they hold my attention and they captivate me. Personally, as a performer, I sort of disappear when I puppet. I forget I'm on stage, and all of my energy is engaged in that inanimate object that I'm making animate. I really like it a lot.
Not every actor wants to work puppets, or when they do, they don't like it.
For my next trick,
And there's some that want to do it all the time, that really love it.
myself.
You just focus your energy totally into the puppet, whereas traditional acting, it's all about you, but you almost want the actor to be hidden and for all of the focus of the audience and everybody on stage to be on your puppet. It's such a rewarding experience for somebody to say they didn't even notice me.
It's a lot of work. It requires a lot of dedication and a big commitment, which is hard for some that have full-time jobs and doesn't pay well, or if it does.
Each new show requires mastering a new style of puppet, countless hours of rehearsal, learning lines, and last-minute puppet repairs. The magic between the puppeteer and puppet tends to chip away slowly at the uncertainty and angst, giving way to creative inspiration.
This is sort of my artistic home. We're definitely a family here. We take care of each other. We're always volunteering our time as much as we can for the benefit of the company. So it's really important to the people that are involved in it. It allows us to express ourselves in a way that doesn't exist outside of Zoot.